Hello and welcome to Real to Real. As the Diocese of Springfield seeks candidates for the priesthood and religious life, there's a powerful force at work within parishes and homes here in Western Massachusetts. Parishioners are getting involved by taking turns hosting the traveling chalice or cross. Kathy Harrington explains these spiritual outreach programs.
Take this, all of you, and eat of it. For this is my body, which will be given up for you.
At this moment in each Mass, the bread and then the wine become the body and blood of Christ, a transformation that happens only through a priest acting in the person of Christ. With no candidates in the seminary for the Diocese of Springfield, last spring, Bishop Byrne appointed himself as the Director of Vocations, along with Fathers John Reardon and David Darcy, to focus on recruiting young men to the priesthood.
The importance for us this week is to think about what our church would be like if we had no priests.
At Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament in Westfield, parishioners hope the Traveling Chalice program will help create a culture of vocations in the world, because
it's not that God stopped calling people 10 years ago. It's that the world is getting noisier. It's getting more challenging to hear the Lord's call in our world.
Each week, a family hosts the chalice in their home, placing it prominently to remind the family to pray the rosary to promote vocations. The next week, the chalice is returned and then passed on to another family at the close of Mass.
It's really an honor, a great honor and a blessing for the chalice to be in our home. Ever since Father Yui told us that the last batch after him would be the last batch for priests to graduate, this really saddened my husband and I. And since then we started praying for vocations, because it's really important for us to have priests in our lives.
Growing up in the Philippines, Carlos Uruca and his brothers attended minor seminary in high school.
We were told by my grandfather said that, the only thing that he didn't have in the family was a priest. So he would like to have a priest in the family. So he looked at us and said, the three of you need to go to the seminary and one of you needs to become a priest.
A former vocations director, Father Pekalik, says it's important that parents and grandparents encourage their children to listen inwardly for God's voice.
Each of us is called to find what our gifts are and what we are called to do. And there's a unique role for each of us. When I look at my own life 25 years later, I can't imagine doing anything else.
Father Darcy agrees. He says priests are real people who do real things, with God at the center of their lives. And his life is busy. He also serves as pastor of St. Francis of Assisi in Belchertown.
I love being a priest. I think it's such a great life, and I don't think people realize how wonderful of a life it is.
The idea for uniting a parish community in perpetual prayer for vocations isn't new. For more than 16 years, St. Elizabeth Parish here in Ludlow has kept a traveling crucifix program going.
On this weekend, Laura and Robert Sloat are taking home one of the 2 traveling crucifixes in rotation.
I think the world needs grace, and at this time especially, and we've always tried to do whatever we could to promote vocations.
Whether that is praying as a community,
For the young people in our parish, may they not be afraid to make vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience if the Lord calls them.
or prayers offered at home.
We pray at dinner every night, and all meals we do, but dinner is primary our prayer time. And then we do the rosary at 9:30 at night, most of the time during the week, and we keep those intentions in our prayers.
Full of grace, the Lord is with you.
Or prayers before the Blessed Sacrament during holy hours dedicated to vocations. It is the Christian community actively engaged in praying to the Lord of the harvest to send laborers into the harvest that will result in increased vocations. For Real to Real, I'm Kathy Harrington.